The cold evening air rushes through the New York City subway as the train rumbles beneath the streets of Manhattan, filled with the usual evening crowd. The cars are packed with passengers, their faces tired and indifferent to the chaos of the city outside. Some are lost in their phones, others stare blankly out of the windows, and a few quietly shift in their seats, eager for their stop to arrive. Among them is Martin Brooks, a nondescript man in his early 40s, quietly observing the scene around him. Sitting across from Martin is a figure disguised to blend in: Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur. In this moment, Elon wears a worn-out brown jacket, a faded gray shirt, and his jeans are frayed at the hems. His scuffed sneakers look like they've endured too many rainy days, while a bushy beard and a beanie pulled low over his forehead complete the disguise. To everyone else, he's just another tired passenger. But in reality, Elon is on a mission tonight, an experiment in kindness. He's observing the subway's commuters to see how they react when faced with the choice to help someone in need. His subject? A pregnant woman standing in the middle of the packed subway car, her exhaustion written on her face. Elon's goal is simple. He wants to see if anyone will offer her a seat before he steps in. And so, the experiment begins. Samantha, a kind-hearted kindergarten teacher, stands in the middle of the crowded subway train, her round belly gently swaying with the movement of the car. Her face is pale, a clear sign of the exhaustion that has followed her long day of teaching young children. With her hands gripping the cold metal pole for balance, she tries to steady herself as the train jerks along its route. She's been on her feet for hours, and the weight of the pregnancy is beginning to take its toll. Every sway of the train sends a quiet wave of discomfort through her body. But she pushes through, knowing her stop isn't far off. Around her, the other passengers seem to take no notice. Some are glued to their phones, scrolling through social media feeds, or watching videos with the faint hum of earbuds in their ears. A few others stare absently out of the windows, seemingly lost in thought. Not one person looks up to offer a seat to the visibly pregnant woman standing before them. The subway car is a mirror of the city itself, a bustling, fast-paced world where the struggles of others often go unnoticed in the rush of daily life. Elon Musk, sitting a few feet away, watches the scene unfold with a quiet intensity. He's been observing the passengers since the train began moving, silently studying their behavior. As the minutes tick by and no one offers to give Samantha a seat, he feels a pang of disappointment. He had hoped for a different outcome, one that reflected the compassion he believes still exists within people. But it's clear that, for most, the act of kindness required to help a stranger is simply too inconvenient. Elon decides to give it 7 minutes. 7 minutes to see if anyone on this train will rise to the occasion, to see if the passengers will choose kindness over convenience. If no one does, he'll intervene himself. He sits back, quietly waiting, ready to see if this simple experiment will reveal the true nature of humanity. The seconds tick by slowly, each one adding to the growing discomfort in Samantha's eyes. The passengers around her shift in their seats, adjusting their posture or fidgeting with their phones, but no one makes a move to offer her a place to sit. The subway train continues to lurch and rattle, but the scene remains unchanged. Elon watches intently, his eyes scanning the faces of the commuters, waiting for someone to respond to Samantha's silent plea. But the minutes stretch on, and no one acts. A quiet disappointment settles in him. He had hoped for more, but it seems the bustle of the city has dulled the sense of empathy. Then at the 4-minute mark, something shifts. A young man in a simple white t-shirt and jeans, sitting a few rows away, stands up. His movements are confident, yet unassuming. Marcus, a man in his mid-20s, looks at Samantha with a warm, genuine smile that immediately disarms the tension in the air. "Ma'am, please take my seat," he says softly, his voice sincere. Samantha's face softens, a flicker of relief spreading across her features. Her tired eyes brighten as she carefully lowers herself onto the seat, finally able to rest. "Are you sure?" "Thank you so much," she replies, her voice filled with gratitude. Marcus nods, his demeanor calm and humble, not seeking any recognition or praise. He simply did what felt right, and the weight of the moment shifts as Samantha breathes a sigh of relief. As Samantha settles into the seat, her relief palpable, Elon stands up, his gaze still fixed on Marcus. With deliberate slowness, he begins to peel off his disguise. First, the beanie comes off, revealing a tousled head of hair. Next, he pulls away the bushy beard and mustache, his face now exposed. The worn-out jacket slips off his shoulders, revealing a crisp, tailored shirt underneath. The transformation is striking. What had been an ordinary subway passenger just moments ago is now unmistakably the billionaire entrepreneur, Elon Musk. A wave of gasps ripples through the subway car as the passengers slowly begin to recognize him. Murmurs spread like wildfire. "Is that Elon Musk? No way! It's him!" Phones are quickly raised, snapping photos of the moment as the atmosphere shifts from indifference to awe. Elon stands tall, his presence commanding attention, and with a calm yet confident voice, he addresses the train full of curious commuters. "I want to take a moment to talk about what I just witnessed," Elon begins, his voice cutting through the buzz of disbelief. "This man," he says, pointing to Marcus, "did something remarkable. He gave up his seat to a pregnant woman without hesitation or expectation of anything in return." Elon pauses, his eyes locking onto Marcus with genuine admiration. Some might think that's just common courtesy, but in a city like this, where everyone is in a rush, it's not as common as it should be. What Marcus did, this act of selflessness, is something rare, but it's incredibly valuable. Elon reaches into his pocket and pulls out a sleek black card embossed with the iconic Tesla logo, holding it up for all to see. The card glints in the overhead lights as he extends it toward Marcus, a symbol of his gratitude. "I'm Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX," he announces, his voice steady but full of meaning. "As a token of appreciation for your kindness, I'm giving you a brand new Tesla Model 3. A stunned silence follows, before the subway car erupts into gasps, surprise, and disbelief. Some passengers can't believe their ears and start recording, while others exchange wide-eyed glances. Cheers slowly begin to fill the space, with some applauding and others shouting in amazement. Marcus, still holding the card in his hands, looks utterly overwhelmed. His eyes widen, his mouth slightly agape as he processes what has just happened. You're serious?" he stammers, barely able to find his voice. Elon nods, smiling warmly. "Kindness deserves recognition," he says, reinforcing the gesture. Marcus shakes his head, his voice trembling as he finally manages, "I don't even know what to say. Thank you. I never expected anything like this." His gratitude is sincere, and the entire subway car watches in awe, witnessing not just the gift, but the genuine humility in Marcus's response. As the subway car buzzes with excitement, Samantha, still seated, looks at Marcus with tears in her eyes. Her voice softens as she addresses him, her gratitude palpable. "You have no idea how much that meant to me," she says, her tone filled with sincerity. "It's been a really hard day, and your kindness made all the difference. Thank you so much." Marcus nods, a humble smile on his face, clearly touched by her words. Across the aisle, a middle-aged man named Frank, who had been glued to his phone throughout the ride, shifts uncomfortably in his seat. His gaze falls on Samantha, and then on Marcus, a quiet realization dawning on him. He clears his throat, then speaks up, his voice a little sheepish. "I should have given up my seat too," he admits, looking around at the other passengers. "Sometimes we're so caught up in our own world that we forget to look around and see what others need. Elon, standing at the front of the train, smiles and nods in understanding. "It's never too late to choose kindness," he says, his words echoing in the now quiet subway car. Moments like these remind us that small actions can have a big impact. Kindness is free, and it's one of the best investments you can make. The passengers sit in quiet reflection, each of them taking in the simple but powerful truth of his words as the train speeds toward its next stop. As the train approaches the next station, Elon takes one final look around at the inspired passengers before quietly stepping off the subway. His departure is almost unnoticed in the whirlwind of emotion left in his wake. The train door slides shut behind him, and with that, the car is left full of passengers who are still processing what they've just witnessed. Marcus, still holding the sleek black Tesla card in his hands, sits frozen, his eyes wide with disbelief. The other passengers, once immersed in their own worlds, now exchange thoughtful glances, reflecting on the small act of kindness that had sparked such a profound moment. The noise of the train fades as the narrator's voice cuts through. In the chaotic rush of New York City, a simple act of compassion can ripple through the lives of many. The camera focuses on Marcus, who gazes at the card with a mixture of awe and gratitude, while the other passengers quietly absorb the lesson. "Kindness is contagious," the narrator continues, "and it doesn't take much to make a difference. Share this story and be the change you want to see in the world." The message lingers as the train pulls into the station, a quiet reminder that even the smallest gestures can leave a lasting impact. Thank you so much for watching this heartwarming story. We hope it inspired you as much as it inspired us. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more uplifting stories like this. And remember to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's spread kindness together, one small act at a time. Have a kind day ahead, and we'll see you in the next video.